Hello and welcome. I'm Becky and I am here to teach a yin class for Helium Restore Yoga in Milwaukee. Today's class is going to be about tuning into the nervous system. This is especially important for those of us who are, for anyone who has trauma and feels like their nervous system is dysregulated a good portion of the time, or has some other nervous system troubles, but also for those of us with hypermobility. Hypermobility and yin can go along, but you have to be careful about it. And so I'll talk about that during the class, but we can just get started. I have a bolster and 2 blocks today. That's what we'll use. So sitting up nice and tall, join me for a moment and let your eyes close. Begin taking slow breaths in and out through the nose. And I might have periods of silence during this class, which I know is awkward on video, but because it's a yin class and I want you to really feel stuff, I'm just gonna have moments of silence. But don't worry, anytime we've been quiet for a while and I'm gonna have you move, I will say to move. So, with your eyes closed, continuing to breathe in and out. I'm really tuning in to how you feel right now. Ask yourself with sweetness and care, how are you, self? And then it might be the case that after asking, how are you, you immediately had like a, I'm good, I'm bad, I'm stressed. You might have had like a 1-word answer to assess your entire being. So try to step, like we allow that one to go, right? We allow that to happen and then pass through. And see if you can go now and ask again, how are you? But this time really just feel, without judgment, how you are. And some things you might notice are, is your heart racing a little bit? Is your stomach a little bit upset? Are you feeling the need to hold it in? Let it out if that's the case. Is your jaw clenched? Are your face muscles tight? How do you feel sort of in your heart and lungs? How does the breathing feel? Is it easy to breathe deep? Can you observe the sensation of it inside your nostrils? Does it feel perhaps a little bit tight in the chest? Does it feel like it's a challenge to get it to kind of go deep? Does it feel like it's stuck kind of in the top at the high level? Again, just notice. None of these things are necessarily good or bad. We're just here to feel into what's going on with us in this moment. Does your leg hurt? Is your knee talking to you? You have an itch? Is your back hurting? Is your neck hurting? Just with the observance of breathing and the quiet sitting, notice an overall feeling tone for all of you. And then just sort of bookmark that, right? So any words you came up with to describe your state, if you kind of took the overall tone and temperature, what was that tone? What was that temperature? What's the speed of your thought swirl? Your thought tornado, perhaps? Just kind of remember, feel into what you feel like right now, and remember that that's how we started class. Okay, so join me in bringing your legs forward. Pause for a moment. Roll your ankles and wrists a couple of times. You can close your eyes again if you'd like to really turn inward, but it's up to you. Bring your legs back in, maybe cross them the other way, and we'll do some seated cats and cows, but slower than usual. So inhale, belly forward, heart up. Exhale, spine back, head drops, and I like to hold my knees and really pull back here, really lean into it. I can feel it in those tight spots between my shoulder blades, and it feels so good. Forward again, nice slow inhale. Back again, nice slow exhale. And of course, we can use Ujjayi breath throughout this practice, but only for certain things. So you could use it now to kind of get the practice of steady breathing in. But once we get into holding the yin poses, I would back off on the Ujjayi breath, allowing the breathing to be normal. Because a settled nervous system, a calm, settled nervous system can be sort of identified by actually breathing very shallow and small. Small, shallow breaths when you're focusing on something indicate a calm nervous system. Have you ever been working on a project? Maybe you're typing a paper or you're working on crafts or something, and you notice that you're breathing very small breaths, very shallow, small breaths. That's a calm situation when you're super focused. Perhaps you're in the flow state. So it's kind of what we want. So we don't want to control the breath during the whole class or use Ujjayi breath for the most part when we're holding the poses. Just for now during warm-ups. Inhale, chest forward and up, arch your back. Exhale, back and round. A few more times like this. Inhale, lift your heart, belly forward, look up a little. Exhale, round your back, lean back, drop your head. Keep doing this on your own. I'm going to talk a little more. Notice with this cat and cow, what stops you at the end of the range of motion. Is it pain? Is it just kind of regular healthy tightness, like your body doesn't go any further, but it's not a problem? Is it even on both sides? Mine's uneven. And now I want you to notice if you are stopped by like a pain point, right? When you do these cats and cows, something hurts. Like you're like, ooh, oh, that hurts when I go that far. And then the other end, ooh, that hurts if I go that far. I want you to back off and do them smaller, just a little bit smaller, avoiding that pain point. And even if you don't have pain, try it a little smaller. Because when we go to the end of that range of motion, we experience a pain point or some warning signal from our body that says, that's as far as you go. We sort of make our bodies a little bit nervous. And that can dial up the nervous system just a little bit. It's very subtle. But your body is worried about safety. And when you push it to the edge, It's like, are we safe? Are you going to do something that gets us injured? We don't know. And it kind of starts to get nervous again. And then your heart rate goes up and you're just not calm. So do this in a way where you avoid pain and you avoid making your body nervous about injury. So hopefully you noticed doing it smaller that felt really good. Hopefully that felt like soothing and calming, right? I aim with this practice to take you out of should. No should. There's no should. There's no I should be more flexible. There's no I should go really far. There's no I should go really deep. You're just here to move and hold still and learn things about your body and feel how your nervous system responds to poses. All right, come back to center. Have a moment to sit tall. Have an inhale, an exhale. Uh-huh. Inhale tall. Exhale, twist to the left. Very gentle twist. And again, notice if you felt the need to go all the way to your farthest twist and look as far back as you could. And notice what stops you at the end of that range of motion. Is it pain? Is it a muscle being like a little tweaky? Maybe it's not pain, but it feels weird. Let's all just back off a little, like an inch or two from that twist. And try to breathe easy. Relax your face muscles, relax your jaw. And now from that easy twist, not pushing it to the farthest limit, and again, just gently rotate your head a few times, very slow. And notice with this movement if there's any pain in the neck in any place. Change up that motion to avoid that pain point. And avoid the ends of the range of motion altogether. Gentle it up. You're still doing your spine a lot of good. We're still giving it a nice twist. And the neck bones and fascia and connective tissue are getting a little work here as well. Just not feeling the need to go as far as they possibly can. A little more gentle. Unwind, come back to center, and notice how you feel. How are things? Have a little rebound time observing how your body responded to that pose. What do you feel and where now? And then sit tall again, inhale. And on your exhale, twist to the right. Go all the way just to see where it is and what the sensations are. Notice what you feel where this might be helpful or not. And then notice your breathing. How does it feel to breathe, pushing the edge of that range of motion? And then back off just a little, unwind a little bit. And notice how it feels to breathe now. For me, it is easier. When I was pushing it, the breaths were labored and they were smaller. And then when I unwound a little, I was able to it just felt easier to breathe. It was easier, breathing easier. Observe how that feels, that twist, without going to your end range. Still giving your spine a good twist. You're just not also triggering a little uh-oh in your nervous system. All right. From here, staying right where you are, turn your head slowly left and right a few times. Very slowly at your own pace. Notice if you're going as far as you can go and waiting for your body to kind of stop the movement. See where those endpoints are, and then gentle it up. Make smaller, ever so slightly smaller movements, so you're not hitting that end point. Not making the body go, oh. Keeping ourselves safe, consciously keeping ourselves safe, in a safe range of motion, observing the response to feeling safe in your body. Every once in a while, I forget and I push to the end again. Maybe you're doing that too. Keep it gentle. Don't push the end range. And then relax and bring it back in. I'll tell you, I always need just the slightest counter twist after that. Just go the opposite way. And then again, sit and close your eyes and feel, how did your body respond to that pose? How does your spine feel? How does your neck feel? How does breathing feel now? Has it shifted at all? Has it changed? Does it feel deeper? No, I said easy breathing is shallow, but sometimes it's shallow when you're stressed also. So there's a difference to be noted. And I don't want you to make an effort to make it shallow. I want you to allow it to be shallow if it's appropriate, if your body is like decided that that's where it's at. Notice now too, if you breathe mostly into your chest or mostly into your belly or a little each. At rest, we should mostly be breathing into our belly. But because in modern society we often sit crunched down, our bellies are crunched and don't have a lot of space to expand, so we end up chest breathing a lot. So see if throughout this practice you can belly breathe more than chest breathe. Okay. All right, let's come to all fours. Have your blanket up in front with you, as well as your bolster. Blocks too would be good here. Okay. And I'm gonna bring the right leg. You can do either side as long as we do both. And then bring that shin across, that front shin a little bit at an angle. It doesn't have to go far. And scoot your other leg back. So we're doing pigeon, right? And you probably come into this pigeon with the same attitude that you do it in a hatha or a flow class, which is fine. It's fine to start out that way. But now take a moment and sense into it. What do you feel? I feel it in my hip flexor and in my low back a little bit. You know what? It's a little bit too much stretch in my hip flexor, and my low back feels a little tweaky. So I'm gonna support myself. I'm gonna bring this blanket, fold it up blanket, kind of stuff it under that thigh slash butt. And that helps take a little bit of the pressure off the hip flexor, which doesn't really need to stretch hard here. Nothing needs to stretch, quote unquote, stretch hard in a yin class. So get it so that you have some sensation in the hip flexor, but so that it's gentle, right? Because we don't need to push and make efforts. We just need to give it a little bit of time and traction and let the time do its work. So see how you're feeling. And if you have a bigger space here, then you might put a block under that hip or cheek. Maybe it's on the lowest setting, maybe it's on the medium, maybe it's on the high. I don't know. You might need it there. Support yourself with something. And then rest. Try to rest. Try to really allow some relaxation. I'm going to use my timer here to make sure that both of our sides are about the same length. So ignore me using my phone for a timer. If your back knee needs padding, please take a moment to come out and put a blanket under there. I like to stay up on my elbows here. A lot of people like to lie all the way down and turn their head to one side. Either one is fine. If you're up on your elbows like me, you can also bring a block under your forehead. Let your head rest. Oh, that's so nice. And if you're hypermobile like me, you tend to kind of drop your belly down and feel your butt point up a little bit. Your low back really gets really rounded. You might have to use a little bit of muscular work here. You might not be able to relax all the way. Pressing to the floor a little, pulling the tailbone towards the back of the knee. Just give a little support. Maybe pressing that back knee into the floor with just 5% power. Tucking the tailbone a little bit again, just a little bit, not as hard as you can do it, but gently. And now feel into the breathing. It's not probably going to feel totally free and easy here because we are holding a little bit of musculature. Our brains and nervous systems are dealing with a little bit of sensation. As long as you haven't gone to a painful place, your body's not nervous about what you're doing, it should be okay. But breathing will be different. We don't expect it to be fully relaxed here. All right. Begin to slowly pull yourself out and real slow, real gentle, sort of consideration and observing each movement. There's no should. Your elbows on that bolster, polar bear pose, and observe how your body responded to that pigeon. Perhaps you feel a little warm sensation, a little tingling in that hip of the right leg, the front leg. You might just shift left and right a little. Notice if that's soothing. If it's soothing, enjoy and feel into it. And then send that right leg back behind you. Just send it back. It was crunching up in the front for a long time. Press it back. Get a little flexion in the foot and a little stretch for the calf. And then bring it back in. You're welcome to rest in these rebound time periods any way that feels good to you. I make a suggestion, but you're welcome to rest however you'd like. Maybe you sit, maybe you lay on your tummy, maybe you lay on your back. You don't have to do what I'm doing for these rebound times. I just offer a suggestion. And then start to bring yourself back to your palms. And we'll bring it the other leg forward for pigeon side two. Let's kind of angle the bolster almost to match the angle of the front leg. So bring that left leg forward, turn the shin across the middle line a little bit, and then set that back a little overlapped. And prop yourself up. Maybe it's with a blanket, the way I do it. Maybe it's with both. Maybe it's with the blocks. And then you could come down on your elbows again. All right, so we've landed in pigeon. Feel what you feel. Notice what sensation is where. This side is totally different for me. No matter how much I do it, it surprises me how different the sides are. So observe that. How does the side feel different? What do you feel? Where do you feel it? And how intense is it? Okay, if it's like an 8 or a 10, back off a little bit. You don't need to push the tissue that hard or pull on the tissue that hard. So back off, maybe scooch that blanket in so it's a little higher. And maybe tuck the tail just a little bit towards the floor. Give your low back a little bit of support. So just dump towards the floor. Tummy in back, dump towards the floor. And then breathe slowly. And observe you. Observe what thoughts come and go. Ask yourself again with sweetness and care for yourself, how are you? Maybe it was a little bit of sensation at first, but it turned into a lot. Back off. Change the pose to back off. There's no like supposed to hold. If it hurts, change it. I like to sort of put my thumbs on my forehead here, on my eyebrows. There's lots of good acupressure points in there. Just kind of randomly select a couple, and hold them with my thumbs. All right. Begin to pick yourself up so gently and carefully. No hurry, no right or wrong way. The safest way, I would say, today is the thing to lean into. Come to all fours and pause for a moment. How do you feel? And then left leg back, or whatever was your front leg, send it back. I'm going to come back down to my elbows. You can stay on your palms or whatever, but just kind of flex the foot and get a nice little calf stretch for a moment. Bring that knee back in and find a shape to rebound in. Totally up to you. Maybe it's child's pose. Maybe you want to move everything of the way on your stomach or on your back, or just sit cross-legged once again. I'm going to sort of do child's pose with my head on the bolster. All right. Coming out of whatever your rebound pose was and back to a seat. We're going to head into a back bend next. So you're going to turn your bolster the long way on your mat behind you. And I'm going to bring my blanket in because I like a little neck support almost always. I got a real tricky neck. One of my hypermobility issues is cervical instability. So I have to baby my neck. It's very fussy and sensitive. So I fold it just kind of once to make a little roll of support, but not a big one. I can't do a big one, it'll hurt. And then you're gonna sit right in front of the bolster and lay back, adjusting that roll. So actually, this is a little too small, even for me. I'm gonna roll it just a little bit more, and not like a quarter of a turn. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, and then you can let your arms come out to the side. And I like to say that you can kind of snow angel your arms to a point where you feel some tension pulling across the chest and the fronts of the shoulders, but so that you can fully relax. I mean, elbows on floor, you're not holding anything up. Arms can fully relax. This is more of a restorative pose, but who's counting, right? The difference between yin and restore. Teachers know it, but students don't think about it very much, nor do they need to. So anyway, find a pleasant sensation of tension, of stretching, and a little bit of tension across the front of the shoulders and chest, but not intense, as we've been doing this whole class. It's really intense. Observe your breathing. And then back off, right? Bring your arms a little closer to your hips. Actually, everyone do that. Bring your arms a little closer to your hips. And then observe, how does it feel to breathe now? Now that we've gentled it up a little. And rest. This is a great place to experiment with feelings of safety. We should feel very safe here. You can challenge it and explore it a little by using your legs. So bend your legs, bring your knees to point up towards the ceiling, like you're preparing for bridge pose. And then you can put the soles of your feet together and let your knees fall out. So this adds a nice hip opener to our restorative pose. But I will tell you that for me, this is too much. My hip does not like it. I kind of strained a groin muscle doing that once. It's too much. I could put a block under each leg, but I just don't like that whole pose, so I'm not going to do it. You could also, I like going cross-legged though. That seems to be pretty good. Little crisscross applesauce. Also good is legs straight out. Or constructive rest pose. So that would be where the knees are bent and the feet are on the floor. You just rest the knees in towards each other and let them rest on each other. So if any of these, if the straight or the knees out options trigger a little bit of nervous system activation for you, notice that. That stretch is pretty strong. It might make your nervous system a little worried for the safety of your legs. Mine was like, you're gonna overstretch that right groin. Don't do it. You're gonna hurt yourself. So I backed off. Take a big breath in and sigh it out. Feeling how good that felt. How does it feel overall to breathe now that we've been doing all this work to calm ourselves down, to not trigger our nervous system even a tiny little bit? How does your overall energy feel now? What's the overall feeling tone of your personal experience? All right, so it's time for Shavasana. And friends, you can stay right here if you want to. There's no need to move, but if you want to change it up, you can remove the props and lay flat on your back or flat on your stomach, or constructive rest pose without the bolster, which I'm going to do. But for my tricky neck, of course, I'm going to keep the blanket. And here in Shavasana, think about if you feel safe. You feel safe right now. How do you feel? How are you, sweetheart? Observe how you feel compared to the beginning of class. Is there a shift? Do you feel different? Let your eyeballs relax. Fall back into your head a little bit more. Here in this studio, we have a lot of urban noise outside. We're on a busy intersection. And I don't know if you heard it, but a few minutes ago, a motorcycle ripped past really loud. And I always challenge my students to just observe what your interior, what your emotional personal response is to that motorcycle tearing by, tearing through your quiet. It's a great time to observe your nervous system being activated. And it's a great time to observe your activation calming back down. So yoga is not here to make the world quiet for us. It's here to help us really deal with the noise and our thoughts and reactions. So I actually kind of always thank the universe for sending noise during Savasana so that people can observe themselves and learn. Just watch. What does it feel like to be calm? And then all of a sudden this noise disrupts you. How do you feel then? And then feel it and observe like you're a third party watching yourself. Observe that calm returning, that stress draining off. Perhaps notice now how slow and shallow your breathing has gotten. I will tell you that I feel very sleepy. That only happens when you're truly at ease and relaxed and safe. All right. Begin to take a little bit of a deeper breath to wake yourself up. Wiggle fingers and toes, roll your ankles around, reach overhead if you'd like. Do any movements that help you luxuriously, happily move again. And when you're ready, roll to your right side. Pause in fetal position for a breath or two. I always love that. It makes me feel so good. The first pose you ever knew. And then come on back up to a seat. Welcome back. Hope you feel good and calm, and I hope you feel like this is what a calm nervous system is supposed to feel like. I hope I've given you some tools to make this something that you can get to regularly. Right? We shouldn't necessarily feel this calm all the time, although we are supposed to feel regulated 90% of the time, 95% of the time, and only when we're actually concerned about survival in a life or death situation are we supposed to feel really activated and dysregulated. So, you know, sense into this during your day, during the week, and feel, observe, when do I feel activated? When do I feel calm? And how can I feel calm a little more often while still accepting that it does fluctuate today. And then come back and try it again. Thank you so much for joining us. I wish you peace. See you next time.